Hello to all my listeners and welcome back to Mwalimu Kipepeo. It's another great month which our nation has been looking forward to. May peace prevail as we go to the ballot box and even way after as we get to know who will be our fifth president. I have been busy, but I have not left you, my wonderful listeners. I have just been preparing good things. Today, we join the rest of the world in observing the World Breastfeeding Week, where I have a role to educate and support as always. Let's get this started. When I started breastfeeding, I had such a hard time, and it was never a joy for me. Before, I always thought it was, an easy process. But when I actually got to do it, I realized that it was no mean feat. I would feel like the life was being sucked out of me, like everything. And I'd feel it from the top of my head. And the experience was not comfortable, especially during the first few days or months. That, however, should not be your story, as we now have lactation specialists to help mothers go through the process and enjoy the experience even while working. That's a good thing. I have done several stories on breastfeeding mothers, and we've talked about companies creating spaces for breastfeeding mothers. I've also done stories about the human milk bank, which was really exciting for me. And this is something that I have been passionate about for a very long time. Yeah. So the resources are available, and today's guest is the kind of resourceful person that all breastfeeding moms need. Martha Mugi Kimkung is a lactation specialist who wears many hats. We were alumni of the same high school, and that is how I got to know her. She also hails from my village, based in the outskirts of our capital city. I am excited to host her because she has a lot to teach us today. So, Martha, karibu sana. Hello and welcome to Mwalimu Kipepeo. Kindly introduce yourself to our listeners.
Hello everyone, my name is Martha Mugi Kimkung. I am a mom of two boys, that is 13 years old and 7 years old. I'm a breastfeeding champion and a lactation specialist. On the other hand, I am also the founder and executive director at CAMFEB, and that is Career Mothers for Exclusive Breastfeeding, whereby at CAMFEB we support moms to exclusively breastfeed for 6 months or and up to 2 years with complementary foods. So yes, we protect, support, promote breastfeeding, both the informal and formal places. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Martha, for that brilliant introduction. So just tell us, what exactly made you so interested in the breastfeeding movement?
I joined the breastfeeding movement during my quest to breastfeed my second child, who is now 7 years old. By then, I had heard a lot about the benefits of breastfeeding, and I was sure I really, really wanted to do exclusive breastfeeding. This is because, especially with my first child, I wasn't able to do that. I only did exclusive breastfeeding for about 2 months, and then when I went back to work, I used to have very busy schedules. I didn't have time to have maybe my lunch in good time. I never hydrated properly. So when I went back home and tried to breastfeed, my child refused to breastfeed because he felt like he was struggling too much and there wasn't enough for him to, there wasn't, I would say, the motivation for him to breastfeed or to suckle. So I abandoned breastfeeding. He completely refused to breastfeed, and so I resorted to giving him other options. We tried all types of formula. He refused. I think the taste of it, and it was frustrating. And so at the end of the day, what we did is we tried a couple of brands for cow milk, packet milk, and that is what he at least accepted to take. So, and also by then, I really did not know so much about breastfeeding. And so it was about him having something to eat. So come my second child, I really, really wanted to do exclusive breastfeeding because also I think the government had done so much to do with I would call it stepping up for breastfeeding, educating people about the importance of breastfeeding and all that. So when I went back to work, because I had a few challenges with my pregnancy and I was at home on bed rest, and so when I got my child, I had to go back to work when my baby was 2 months. And so this means that I had to work extra hard to make sure that I'm expressing milk for my baby, um, the hustle around that. And so I kept telling my colleagues because at night I wasn't sleeping enough. I have to wake up breastfeeding in the middle of the night, and then commuting to and from work. I used to live so far from my workplace, so it was quite a challenge. And also when I went back to work, there wasn't a place for me to express milk because I needed to do exclusive breastfeeding. And when I went back to work, there wasn't any place that I could set aside for expressing milk. So I had to find some space. It was in a store. At least I would lock myself in there and express my milk. And even after that, I didn't have a fridge where I could put my milk, and therefore I used to place the milk on the floor because it's a bit cooler, and I knew my milk would be okay by the time I'm taking it back home. So this is how I joined the breastfeeding world, and I kept telling my colleagues, you know what? I wish I worked for half day, then I would somehow manage to juggle about work, about breastfeeding, about self-care and all that. So and that is how Comfab was born, Career Mothers for Exclusive Breastfeeding. So we started that, and by the time we were starting, it was about advocating for a bill into parliament so that we can have moms work for half day after their 3 months maternity leave. And so that is how Comfab, that is how the idea was born in terms of Comfab being born. But then again, with time, as we grow in Comfab, we realize that we need to somehow first sensitize people to get to understand the importance of breastfeeding, so that by the time even such a bill is taken into parliament, then it doesn't have so much resistance because we already know what we need and what we want to do. And also we are talking about our future generation. What do we want? What kind of health do we want for them? So that is how I joined the breastfeeding movement. And then when I also joined Comfab, or rather created Comfab, people thought I knew everything about breastfeeding. And well, I knew a little bit of it because I was reading a lot more on internet about breastfeeding. But then again, when I started Comfab, people used to call me, "What do I do with my baby? I'm going back to work." Such kind of questions. Why do I need to breastfeed? Is it that really important? And so then I decided, you know what? Can I just take a course to learn more about breastfeeding, understand a bit more about breastfeeding, so that also, I'm in that space where I know what it means. So, yeah, that's how I got into the breastfeeding world. And yeah, I can say let's support women to breastfeed. It matters a lot.
Oh, wow, that is so interesting. So tell us, what are the benefits of breastfeeding a baby for at least the first 6 months?
We have so many benefits for exclusive breastfeeding, and some of these benefits are like it is the ideal nutrition for babies. You see, breast milk contains everything that the baby needs, and for the first 6 months of life. And that means that you do not need to give the baby anything else apart from breast milk, because ideally it has everything. And sometimes we might even think that I think we need to give the baby water. No, breast milk contains water, and therefore the only thing that your child needs to do is to have breast milk for the first 6 months of his life. And we also recommend that you do exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months and up to 2 years with complementary feeding, meaning that you're giving the baby other foods apart from breastfeeding when you get to up to 6 months. The other benefit is that breast milk contains important antibodies, and therefore you will find that the baby is able to fight viruses and bacterias, and in those early months. And therefore you'll find that things even like ear infections, some like talking about ear infections, I remember with my first child, I used to have a lot of cases whereby we used to go to the hospital now and then because of ear infections. And with my second child, I did not experience that. So I can say that breastfeeding for sure has contains important antibodies that you can compare it to anything else. And going back to exclusive breastfeeding, I said that you should not give the baby anything else apart from breast milk. Any other thing, maybe it's assuming that baby is not feeling well and there's some medication that needs to be administered, then that is all good and should be done. So another benefit for breast milk is that it promotes healthy weight. You will find that kids who do exclusive breastfeeding gain weight, I would say properly, and it prevents childhood obesity. It is because breast milk is how best can I say it? Breast milk has everything that the baby needs in the appropriate nutrients, and therefore that is why you will find that babies who have done exclusive breastfeeding, they most likely they do not experience obesity even in future. Also, when you're breastfeeding, these are some of other benefits to the mom. When you're breastfeeding, it helps contract the uterus, which is very important at the early stages. It also helps moms who are breastfeeding to lower the risk for depression, and also reduces other diseases like against cancer and other things, high blood pressure. So breastfeeding has so many benefits to mom and baby, and also definitely it saves money, because when you breastfeed you cannot really compare it to anything else, because yes, definitely, yeah, you're buying maybe healthier diet or so, but you cannot compare this with things that are to do with formula and other things. So, and we always say that breast milk is best and the best way to start a child's life. So we encourage that you do exclusive breastfeeding and up to 2 years, and also remember breastfeeding helps in bonding. When you breastfeeding, those moments are priceless, and you really bond with your child, and these are bond that goes a long way also into the future. So breast milk, and we say that you cannot compare breast milk with anything. You put breast milk here, you put something else here, definitely the components for breast milk cannot be compared to anything else. So we encourage the moms, the parents, the society to support moms who are breastfeeding, to support children to breastfeed, because that is what we need. And we are talking about our next generation. We need a healthier generation. So let's, as the theme says, let us step up for breastfeeding. So yeah, we have so many benefits.
Okay, that's some very important information you've given us there, Martha, and we really appreciate that. But just one important question I have in my mind is, do you think we have been able to make the effort of stepping up needed to achieve sustainable progress as a nation? And if not, what more can we do to get there? Just let us know that, because I think it's something we need to discuss.
I can say as a country, we have stepped up for breastfeeding, and I can say that the government, headed by the Ministry of Health, are doing a tremendous job to step up for breastfeeding. This is because we have things like the Health Act 2017 and the Breastfeeding Bill 2019 that allows provision for lactation spaces. It is so detailed that it is protecting the mom and the baby to be able to do exclusive breastfeeding. And if we implement this act, then it means that we are supporting the mom to combine work and breastfeeding. So I can say, as a country, yes, we are stepping up for breastfeeding, and also the fact that Kenya adheres to the breast milk substitute code. It was among the first government to vote in favor of the World Health Assembly resolution in adopting the International Code of Marketing of Breast Milk Substitutes. And this code, what it means is that we are not allowed to advertise, or rather market, breast milk substitute. These are things like especially formula that sometimes will come in between the breastfeeding journey for a mom, and to show that you can be able to you can have breast milk and formula as the same thing, which it is not the case. So us as a country, having the breast milk substitute code is for sure protecting the children, and supporting, protecting, and promoting breastfeeding in Kenya. So this is really important. And also we have the baby friendly hospital initiative, whereby we have hospitals adopting the initiative so that they are able to support breastfeeding exclusively. And it means that the hospital cannot advertise breast milk, or sorry, cannot advertise formula to the moms who are delivering, or any substitutes to show that breast milk is not best. So it is a detailed initiative that helps hospitals to 100% support breastfeeding. But I must say that we can do better. We can do better, because as a government, as the government is coming up with awesome law, the act, the breastfeeding bill 2019, if we do not have systems in place to see the implementation has been done, then it means that we have a good act, but then again, it is not really entirely helping us. So I think as much as we have these acts, then it also means that we need to put in place systems to ensure that this has been implemented. Because if we look at the workplace area, you'll find very few organizations have created lactation spaces for moms who are lactating and have come back from to work. So it means that a lot needs to be done, and especially the implementing part of it. So it is important to do that. Also, the baby friendly hospital initiative, we need to ensure that for us to surely step up for breastfeeding, we need to ensure that the baby friendly hospital initiative is working. Because for example, I've had in my field as a lactation specialist, I have had a mom telling you that my milk had not come within like maybe the first day, which is normal because by the time the baby is latching on, you do not expect that heavy flow of milk, but there is something they are getting out of the breast, which is called the colostrum, and it is very important for the child to have that as their first as the first let me call it meal. So you will find that some of the doctors or nurses, they are doctors are discharging moms with formula by telling them that you do not have enough milk and so you can supplement. But it hasn't been established because this is maybe the one or two. Then how does it how do you say that the mom does not have enough milk? So we need to make sure that, especially the baby friendly hospital initiative, because the doctors and the nurses at the hospital level play a very important role to make sure to enable the breastfeeding journey. And therefore, if any doubt is put into the mom, telling them that they do not have enough breast milk, or maybe even their breasts are small, so you will find that the confidence of that mom is tampered with, and therefore they will not think that they're doing the best for their child. So we really need to work together and ensure that we are supporting the moms, and especially a very sensitive sector, which is at the hospital level where the moms are delivering. So I can say we have stepped up for breastfeeding, but we can do more. And also, I must commend the government because there's a lot of education that is going on at the antenatal care, where parents are educated about the importance of breastfeeding, how much time they need to breastfeed, what are the benefits of breastfeeding, and you see that more and more parents are taking up the breastfeeding journey. So yeah, for sure, I can say we are doing a good job, but we could do better.
All right, all right. That's actually really well answered. So just tell us, this is as we head towards the end of this very interesting conversation. How can people get in touch with you for more information on this topic? Because this is quite a lot that you have. I know you're saying that you felt like you didn't know much, but I think you have very important information for many mothers out there who are actually suffering right now. So let us know how we can get in touch with you in case they need your services or in case they need help in regards to breastfeeding.
Our core objective at CampFab, Career Mothers for Exclusive Breastfeeding, is ideally to support moms to exclusively breastfeed, and especially at the workplaces. And we'd be happy if you contact us. We can work with you in terms of assisting you to make sure that you are able to set up a baby friendly workplace for your employees. You can get in touch with us via email, that is contact@camfeb.org, or telephone number 0723 428 527. Asante sana. We look forward to having baby-friendly spaces at the workplace, society, at home. We need to support baby and mom to exclusively breastfeed.
And finally, Martha, thank you for gracing our podcast. Please give us your parting shot. This should be the most important point you will make today for all of us. So, this is the opportunity. Go ahead.
Well, for me, the issue of women and work is about enabling women to successfully combine their reproductive and productive roles. It is a health issue, an economic issue, a labor issue, and a human rights issue. Women's dual roles as workers, that is productive, and mothers, reproductive, need to be respected and accommodated by the society. Childbearing and lactation are biological functions that only women can assume. Women should be able to engage in paid work and other work and still care for children and exclusively breastfeed for 6 months without having them to choose one or the other. However, increasing urbanization, rigid working hours, and dislocation has resulted to no or little social support, recognition for equity measures to support mothers, especially breastfeeding mothers. So, let us support the mothers as much as we can. Let us put systems in place to support moms to breastfeed. Let us all join hands together. We say it takes a whole village to breastfeed. Please, in your capacity, let us support moms. Be it in your workplace that you need to support a lactating mom, be it at home where you need to offer support to a mom, be it the society that you are and need to support that breastfeeding mom. And again, at the end of the day, it is our future generation that we are talking about, and the mothers that need that support, and they do not have to choose between work and child rearing. Thank you. See you again.
Well, let me tell you a little story about the World Breastfeeding Week. In order to support and encourage breastfeeding, the World Health Organization, WHO, and United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, created a memorandum in 1990. Following this, the World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action, WABA, was established in 1991. The inaugural World Breastfeeding Week was observed in 1992 to promote the campaign. Initially, around 70 countries used to commemorate the week, while now it is celebrated by 170 countries worldwide. Now you know. This year's theme for World Breastfeeding Week is Step Up for Breastfeeding, Educate and Support, which we always do. And this is done by urging organizations and nations to create safeguards for breastfeeding. This topic hopes to increase breastfeeding awareness. I hope we've just done that with this topic today. And my sincere gratitude goes to Martha, who has been our resourceful person today. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Please remember to share this podcast and comment on all our topics. I will see you next time. Thank you and God bless.